Next up, we have the first panel discussion on leveraging and optimizing on high-performance hybrid cloud services. It is indeed an honor for me to introduce our renowned panelists. Our eminent moderator, Mr. Mohammad Ali Shalan, Director, Project Management Office and Digital Transformation Director, OKAG Saudi Chapter of PMI. Our second panelist for the day, we have Mr. Murali Mohan Thupakula, Group Head of IT Digital Transformation, Al Hamra. The third eminent panelist that we have is Mr. Mohammad Bikaruddin, Vice President Membership and Vice President Education, ACME, Toastmasters and Bahrain IT Professionals. And the fourth panelist is Mr. Raje, Director and CIO, HealthAssure. Over to you, Mr. Shalan, to moderate the panel.
It's my pleasure actually to be. It's my pleasure to be with you today and to discuss this very important topic about in the summit. So it's really very important thing today. We have three panelists plus myself. Today we'll be talking about hybrid cloud in general. And this is Mohammad Shalan. I will moderate this for 30 minutes. The theme of this presentation will be actually, okay, so we have four panelists as my friend talked about, and then the summit theme, we are of course aligned with the summit theme, talking about high performance cloud services to match the rising demand and deliver innovation and technology transformation to our customers and suppliers. So I will start with the strategy part actually of this presentation. And I will start with Mr. Ninand, asking him about the strategy. So how are organizations leveraging hybrid cloud computing for strategic advantages? How do you think, Mr. Ninand, about this?
Hi, thank you. Firstly, it's an absolute pleasure to be a part of this summit and particularly this particular panel. It's absolute pleasure. And thank you, Mohammad, for that question. Well, in the fast growing tech world, organizations are continuously trying to find out new ways that can transform their businesses and can take it to new heights. One of the most potent technologies is cloud computing that has great potential of providing organizations with sustainable results and in cost-effective manner. As computing needs change with the costs, a hybrid cloud allows the movement of workloads between a private and public cloud, providing the businesses with greater flexibility and more options for data deployment, making it an ideal choice for organizations and an offer they can't refuse. It's too good to be true, right? Organizations are leveraging the strategic advantages and benefits offered by the hybrid cloud, and they're increasingly moving towards it as it offers the features of both public and private clouds. The scalable and pay-as-you-go infrastructure enabled by the public cloud is transforming the banking and finance and of course the healthcare industries, while a private cloud makes the process predictable and provides full control over it. We all know about it, right? Full control is something which is required. It also enhances customer experience and secures the mission critical applications and of course your very secure data. Take for instance, healthcare. Now healthcare is all about patient experience, and improvements to patients' experience is certainly being enabled through leveraging the power of technology and implementing cutting-edge technologies. Today, we are truly at the intersection of humanity and technology in healthcare, where new ideas and innovations to improve people's lives and health experiences are being enabled by technology and strategy. Hybrid cloud technology is, of course, allowing us to determine which treatment makes the most sense for an individual patient. Selecting the right treatment obviously has an impact on the patient, and also helps to improve the ROI of medicine by spending money on the most appropriate interventions as early as possible. Now that are expected to have the best possible results. Now let's take, for example, telemedicine, which is based on cloud technology, has brought patients and doctors together. More than half of the hospitals around the globe today use some form of telemedicine. Close to 1 million use remote cardiac monitors, and millions of patients worldwide use telemedicine to monitor the vital signs and reduce the need for hospital visits. Now, all this is made possible due to cloud computing. Whether it's hybrid cloud or whatever public cloud or private cloud, it depends on the organizations and the needs and requirements. So today, hybrid cloud is not only something which is which is probably a luxury, but it is absolutely essential. I hope that addresses that question, Mohammad. Over back to you.
Yes, great. Actually, this is very good insight because people will be talking how to strategize and how to put their plans for the cloud. And this was the first issue to help people actually to do that. The second thing actually I will talk about is about the architecture for the cloud. Of course, when you put a strategy for cloud, you will have multiple choices. You will have multiple vendors. And so today we are talking about what architecture will be good for us, for every organization based on what. So maybe this will be answered by Mr. Mohammad Faruddin. He will tell us about how the architecture will work.
Thank you, first of all, to the organizing committee to give an opportunity to be part of this KSA Hybrid Cloud and Data Summit 2022. And it was very interesting and good panel discussion so far. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Ali. Building a solid architecture, in my opinion, at the heart of our successful cloud architecture perspective. For most understand and knowledge existing technology, which we have databases, networks, application, development, edge computing, IoT. I always focus on specifically the value added to business. I have seen, as well as His Excellency's mention about one size fit all solution. I have not seen, like some of the organization is very wide and more complex. Some of them, they are very tiny and little, and everybody is moving forward from their native solution, the native IT infrastructure to the newly built, adopted, the cloud. As a good practice, always to have a security engineer on the architecture team to make sure the right mechanisms are included and proper planning occurs. Ultimately, what I felt, the cloud architecture rests on consider everything and assuming nothing about how well the things will work. At the same time, what I found, the solution that merely work solving only that particular problem. At the end of the day, we need a solution. The goal always most on cost optimization solution, enable IT cloud to bring as much value back to the business. This is the most important, as well as the possible through the powerful technology, which is the cloud. That's it from my side. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, great. Actually, this is, yes, it's no one size fits all, and it's very important that build architecture that will fit your organization. This is a very important message for our audiences, actually. Now we need to go to Murali and ask him about the value. When we adopt a solution for cloud, what are the value are we expecting and how we are measuring this value? Because some people are trying to have a solution, but by the end of the day, the management, for example, are not able to recognize the value. So how we do that, Mr. Murali? Murali, are you with us?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Oh, thanks all. It's an immense pleasure, to talk on the KSA Hybrid Cloud and Data Center Summit. I would like to, just a minute and I'll start my video. Yeah.
We can see you now. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So this is it's a very good topic, to discuss on how you can measure the cloud value. So there are various ways of currently, if you ask me, the days are changed. The COVID has changed the entire IT landscape in the entire world. So in a way, the journey has been started, as a couple of guys mentioned, like, in 2000, 2002 and all. But this is the, the time which everyone is waking up and then trying to move it to the cloud. So that's where, how do, first and foremost, the question is like, okay, everyone is looking for a cloud journey, but what is the need of doing that? Then how do you measure, what is the importance of going there? If I go there, what is the cost benefit analysis which I need to do? So based on all these assumptions, how do you measure whether the cloud value is give my ROI as expected or not? See, everywhere, the cost is the main mantra in every place. Everyone is talking about, we need to minimize the cost, cutting the cost, in terms of maybe in terms of cutting the resources or upgrade the existing resources, hardware refreshments, all these things are happening. So this is the great chance for everyone, in order to make get away with the on-premise servers and whatever it was, end of life servers, and which was high vulnerable systems. That's why it's a good chance to move it to the cloud, because everyone is giving the opportunities and then the value additions to add more, as a cost benefit analysis. So how do you measure the value after all these things? The measurement is every organization, they would like to go through by ROI part. So how do I measure that ROI? That ROI can be in terms of specific sector. If I, since we are working for real estate industry, what is my ROI? Why do I move to the cloud? For example, it's a paperless transaction. If I can achieve by moving to the cloud, that's one type of ROI I can say. And also the increasing the customer experience. So that could be my KPI, but indirectly it is linking to the ROI. So that's where there are various ways to look at it and then measure the value of the cloud computing devices and moving to the cloud services. In other words, in terms of cost benefit analysis, if I move to the cloud, what is the benefit I'm getting? For example, is there any hardware refreshment has to be done for every 3 to 4 years? No, it's not required. Is it the high availability? Yes, it's of course, you are getting high availability. You can peacefully can run on further automations. And then so is there anything which we can cut down the cost in terms of resources? Of course, because it's a resource cost is heavily cut down when you are in the cloud. Automatic updates, and then no need to worry on upgrades and other aspects, especially in terms of technologies like SAP and other services. They are encouraging the customers in order to go through the cloud journey. Maybe as other colleagues mentioned, it's a part of complete cloud or private cloud or hyperscaler. So but still that is the where everyone is looking at it. So it adds the company performance and then company image as well. So that's where you can see it as the value will be come in various aspects. Maybe direct financially might be ROI part, and other things might be what kind of processes, what kind of automation which I am bringing in. The third one could be what kind of KPIs which I am achieving with this. That's all from my side, Mr. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, good. Actually, this is very important, because then we have a measure. At least we can have measures, solid measures to show to the management and saying, okay, we are implementing cloud and these are the outcomes. So it's good to hear that. Now let's go to the security part. Of course, the security is very important in every digital transformation journey, in every cloud issue. So we need to understand how secure is technology and what are the rules changing now here in Saudi Arabia and everywhere about the security measures for cloud and security regulations. Ninand, can you take this question, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Pretty pertinent and a valid question, Mohammad. In my opinion, as more and more organizations adopt a cloud-first approach, tech teams need to consider new ways to standardize cybersecurity posture. And this is more pertinent towards flowing towards the cloud. Securing the cloud is whole different ball game, as traditional security doesn't work the same way in the cloud. We all know that, right? On-prem security as well as security as compared to that in the cloud is a very different ball game altogether. There is no perimeter to protect. Manual processes cannot occur with the necessary scale or speed, and the lack of centralization makes visibility extremely difficult to achieve. In addition to this, the API-driven approach that makes cloud-first environments so flexible and configurable can also be a drawback, actually, that makes it easy to program in misconfigurations that open the environment up to vulnerabilities. Cloud security posture management tools have become increasingly popular as tech teams prioritize the monitoring and management of cloud infrastructure. Now, more and more organizations have started offering privacy officer as a service. Prior to this, there was no such kind of a service which was available, but now today, privacy officer as a service is pretty much pertinent. From software as a service, which is SaaS, to infrastructure as a service, which is IaaS, and many more, as a service models have become widely popular in the enterprise world. And this is true because of the cloud computing environment. Especially and essentially, any tech function can be transformed into service and is widely adopted by organizations that want to cut costs and simplify IT deployments. In the coming years, the way I see it, we expect more demand for privacy officer as a service, especially among smaller businesses that may not have the resources to officially appoint privacy officers. Specialized cybersecurity organizations that offer privacy officer as a service are able to support their customers in various ways. Could be from checking, evaluating, and documenting the data management processes to ensuring compliance in managing third-party data, preparing employees with training and awareness campaigns, and as well as managing communications with supervisory authorities and those affected by any data breaches. Now, as the frequency and complexity of cyber attacks continue to evolve exponentially, it is unlikely that 2022 and even beyond will be uneventful years for the cybersecurity insurance industry over cloud. It is going to be a phenomenally eventful year for cybersecurity over cloud. Organizations will need to stay informed of the latest cybersecurity trends in order to take proactive measures to equip themselves and the actionable in protecting the employees, customers, and stakeholders. And this entire piece is the necessity and primary need. And this has been sort of come into action because of cloud infrastructure, cloud computing, hybrid cloud, and so on and so forth. So cloud is here to stay. Cloud is essential. And anything revolving around cloud, including security, is going to change. In fact, it's already changing and it's already changed. And we need to take care of all these elements revolving around cloud. I hope it addresses your question, Mohammad. Over back to you.
Yeah, great. Actually, yes, it's clear. It's good to understand that security is moving ahead. Actually, of course, there is a lot of challenges, but also there is a lot of solutions to this, and we are moving ahead because we cannot move without security. We cannot move in the future even without cloud. So, thank you very much for this. What I need to go, actually, I need to see a live example about cloud service, how it is used in real estate industry and in smart cities, because everywhere everyone is talking about smart cities, about resilient cities, and real estate, of course, is booming everywhere. And we need to understand how we utilize these technologies into this real estate sector.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Murali.
Thanks for dropping. It's a very good question to answer, Mohammad Shalan, because I come from the similar industry of real estate and construction. See, currently nowadays, every company, as I mentioned earlier, they want to save the substantial amount of money, right? So they want to maybe in terms of infrastructure upgrades and pulling power, software licenses, in terms of various aspects, everyone would like to save the cost. So when coming to the real estate industry, majority thing is it's a big ecosystem on its own. Anyway, it's not like the other industries, the cloud environment was not touched earlier, especially the construction and real estate industry. But currently everyone is working towards that. So it's going to affect it's how you are managing the communities, integrated communities, the paperless communities. And then the quick adoption. So now the as per the best practices, the systems are available on the cloud. No one is giving solutions to you on premise versions anymore. So that's where everyone would like to encourage the teams to come to the cloud. We will offer you so many discounts. So at the same time, in the traditional environment, we used to maintain the data, the DR sites. So nowadays, no need to have that one on-premise version because it has its own associated cost, everything. And also we are increasing the customer experience out of this one. And also we are planning to bring the blockchain contracting. That's where everyone is talking about. And the current trend is the fractional properties in the market, because no need to have earlier the scenario is any customer can come and buy one flat, one villa. Now the market trend have been changed, so 4 or 5 people put together, they can buy one apartment, it's like a Bitcoin, you can have a fractional properties. That's the emerging market. And also this, by all this means, entire real estate industry is growing in terms of a digital transformation. Its cloud is helping us, all real estate and construction industry, big time in this area. Of course there are various benefits out of this one, because as Ninad and Vikaruddin has mentioned, regarding the speed, the collaboration, scalability, and data loss prevention tools and controls, efficiency and cost reductions, that in terms of the security, backup and restore the data, and as the SaaS and other solutions unlimited storage capacity. So these are all it gives us immense pleasure to move to the cloud. When it comes to the smart cities, there are various impacts in terms of how you can maintain sustainable cities, right? In terms of the sustainable cities, in the sense fully interconnected cities, in terms of IoT devices, parking sensors, and intelligent street light systems in order to use the energy efficiently. And also in Alhamra, in Russell Khaimah, we are working on the waste management initiative as part of the smart cities initiative. And also city infrastructures, everything it's a monitored through IoT sensors. So that's where the capability is coming, even the traffic management system is managed on the cloud, and the data is stored, which car number belongs to which emirate or which country, who is traveling there. So these kinds of data help us in smart cities in order to enhance the customer, or the experience of the people. Going forward, it's going to be it's everywhere. 5G is coming now, so that's where there is no problem in adapting these, moving to the cloud, and then building the data centers, and then connected all the dots in terms of infrastructure, in terms of waste management, in terms of the traffic light system, or in terms of the patrol system. So there are various smart city connectors have been, all these dotted dots now. So it's all connected through this cloud journey, so with the cost effective nature. So it's that's all from my side. Mohammed, Shalan, over to you.
Yeah, it's great actually, because yes, real estate now is totally changing everywhere, and it's affecting every industry, because real estate is part of a core building for everyone and affecting everyone. So it's really good to have a cloud service, even for, as you said, profitability or other solutions are there. So it's really great. Now I have a final question actually, because we are running out of time. So my final question will be to Fakharuddin about the architecture from framework. Actually, what are frameworks that are applied to the cloud era, and how we can make sure that value is generated out of these frameworks per industry, per sector, per everything. So how do you see it?
Thank you again, Mr. Muhammad Ali. As everyone know very well, the well-architect framework describes the key concept, which is design principle and architectural and best practices for designing, running workloads in general as a cloud. By doing this fundamental, we need a architecture to be aligned which follows some best practices and gain some kind of a making improvement. As we know, this is standard in terms of any well architect, you should have operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, the cost optimization, and sustainability. These are the main framework in all workload I'm following. I will give you one example how it has to make. You need to identify the existing workload. Example, you have on-prem lots of workload which you need to migrate to the AWS. So you have to make in such a way how it can fit as is condition to move to the AWS cloud. Maybe the databases, which is we are using traditional. And when you move over there, it's totally different. And how the network, if you take an example of on-prem network infrastructure, while you're going over to the cloud, we need to follow the standard framework, which give us as an additional security. And most of the things, these are the things I am following in all workload, which is the standardized existing workload, making the EC2 instances, how it can be fit as per the as is condition, the security architecture. The most important in all organization will use the cost optimization, how it can sustain for a future where you are working as is condition in your on-prem while you move to the cloud, and how it can be compared. And most important, it has to be have the acceptance. So this is overall I will do in well architect to fit as per the standard, which is operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. This is the well architect for any workload from any provider. That's it from my side. And back to you, Mr. Muhammad Ali.
It's great. Thank you very much for this insightful answer, actually. And it seems that we are running out of the time now. So I don't know if you have one question just from the audiences, if there is any, or we can just close the panel and any questions can be forwarded directly to the panelists from the audiences. So it's to you, please, Roger. So do you have any questions from the audiences, or shall we?
So as of right now, there are no questions from the audiences that I see, but if there are any, we will have them emailed and you can address them, Mr. Shalan.
Great.
Thank you very much, dear renowned panel members, Murali, Mohammad, Minad, and our eminent panel moderator, Mr. Shalan, for the interactive, extremely impactful panel discussion around leveraging and optimizing on high-performance hybrid cloud services. Thank you once again for giving us your precious time for the submit, and I hope all of you have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.